story that came up about Mel Gibson, I kind of want to talk about this. The story was about, I even retweeted it, is a story about the child trafficking documentary that he's doing, a 4-part documentary. But if there's a guy that could do it and pull it off, it's definitely Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson, one of Hollywood's biggest legends, is risking everything. His career, his safety, even his life to expose the darkest secrets of Epstein and Diddy.
Most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children.
He is one of the most feared persons in Hollywood because of the dangerous secrets he knows and his willingness to expose them. Well, he is now stepping out of the shadows, pointing fingers and naming names that have been protected for decades. We're talking about a list so toxic, so deeply buried, that even the most powerful politicians and celebrities are terrified of it seeing the light of day.
People, I mean, I've never seen Hollywood quite so shaken by anything. It's a little late, so we'll see how it all shakes down. Hopefully it clears the air a little bit.
While Trump and his allies play hide and seek with the Epstein files and the Diddy lawsuits spiral into something much darker than anyone expected, Gibson is sounding the alarm. Why him? Why now? And more importantly, what does he know? This is the story they don't want trending. This is the expose Hollywood fears. Stay with us. What you're about to hear might change the way you look at fame forever. Mel Gibson is not new to controversy, but he's also not new to calling out Hollywood. Let's be real, Hollywood has tried to cancel him more than once. In the 90s, Gibson was one of the most powerful names in entertainment. He directed and starred in Braveheart, winning Oscars and massive box office success. But even back then, he was calling out Hollywood for its fake morals and dark secrets. In a podcast he discusses with Andrew Schultz, they open up the ridiculousness of the entire Epstein cover-up.
Pavement talk about how we're going to expose this Epstein thing, and the second they get in there, like, you better shut the f*** up.
That's a shut up.
In a 1995 interview, he joked about how Chris Walken is the Antichrist. People thought he was being weird or dramatic, but looking back, it feels like a nervous man trying to say something bigger. And in later years, Gibson openly criticized the industry for being soulless, dishonest, and morally corrupt. Then came his fall. In 2006, his DUI arrest and anti-Semitic comments made headlines. He was blacklisted by studios, mocked in the media, and painted as dangerous. And sure, he said and did things that deserved criticism, but something deeper was going on. Because even when the world turned its back on him, Gibson didn't stop digging. And now, decades later, he's back, louder than ever, trying to shine a light on what he believes is Hollywood's biggest lie. Now here is the big question. Why is the Epstein list suddenly trending now that Trump is president again? The Epstein list, the one with the names of the rich and famous who allegedly flew on that shady island jet, is back in the news. The reason is that Donald Trump is back in the White House. Yup, and people are now looking at him like, okay, Mr. President, time to show us the names, time to clean this up. But here's the thing, they're asking Trump to expose people he has known for a long time. Let's not pretend he wasn't part of that old school Hollywood crowd. He knew Epstein, he knew Diddy. He was seen smiling at the same parties, standing next to the same stars. So how is he supposed to blow the whistle? Even Joe Rogan is calling them out for the lies.
Well, we have a film, we're gonna release that film, and the film has a minute missing from it?
Yeah.
Like, do you think we're babies? Like, what is this?
And get this, there are now rumors flying around that Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's right-hand woman, could actually get a presidential pardon. Seriously. After everything? And it doesn't stop there. Diddy, who's dealing with serious accusations right now, is also being whispered about as someone who could get, quote, protected. Like, are you kidding? If those pardons happen, that tells us one thing loud and clear. Famous people protect each other, no matter how shady it gets. Once you hit that billionaire status, there are different rules. It's like jail doesn't exist for the ultra famous. Normal people would be locked up forever, but these ones, they just keep hosting parties and walking red carpets. And now let's talk about Epstein's end, because honestly, it still doesn't make sense. The guy checked out in a top security jail, no cameras, no guards watching. All the quote mistakes just happen at the same time. Come on, that's not just suspicious, that's a full-on movie plot. If you believe that was just bad luck, I've got a bridge to sell you. It's giving cover-up, major one. So, where does Mel Gibson fit into all this? Oh, he's been talking about this for years. People used to laugh at him, say he was crazy, and call him washed up, but maybe he was just ahead of his time. Maybe he saw the dark side of Hollywood long before the rest of us caught on. He's been saying Hollywood has secrets, that there's a dark culture hiding behind all the glam. They tried to cancel him, silence him, even destroy his image, but Mel is still here. And now that he's naming names, people are finally paying attention. So here we are. Trump's back, the list is trending, Diddy's in trouble, Maxwell might get out, and Mel Gibson, he's still speaking up. The question is, are we finally ready to hear what he's been trying to tell us all along, or are they gonna shut him up again? For years, people have whispered about the cult-like side of Hollywood, strange parties, young stars are pressured to play along to get ahead, secret deals and silent blackmail. Some think it's just gossip, others point to real examples. Corey Feldman talking about child abuse, the Harvey Weinstein scandal, and the rise of Epstein's name across every corner of the elite. Gibson earlier revealed he grew suspicious the moment he joined Hollywood.
First time I really came over here, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Now with Diddy being accused of similar behavior, secret recordings, assaults, underage girls, it feels like that dark Hollywood world is surfacing again. And guess what? People close to both Diddy and Epstein include A-list entertainers, famous rappers, and big-name producers. So when Mel Gibson says he's ready to expose the full truth, people are paying attention. Not because they always trusted him, but because someone from inside the system is saying what we've all suspected.
But he's not just talking, he's connecting dots. Gibson has been linked to the Sound of Freedom movement, which focuses on child trafficking and how elites profit from silence. He didn't direct that film, but he helped promote it. That made headlines again in 2023. And every time he's spoken out, he's faced backlash.
Sound of Freedom has a message filled with hope and inspiration. The film sparks conversations and encourages people to help end trafficking in their own community.
Think about that. If you were just ranting nonsense, wouldn't the industry just ignore him? Instead, they try to erase him. So the question becomes, why are they so afraid of Mel Gibson? Let's get real. If even a small part of what he's saying is true, Hollywood has a crisis on its hands. Because it's not just about old controversies or celebrity beef. It's about a system where abuse is protected, truth is buried, and power is everything. If Epstein's list ever gets out, and if Diddy's case opens new doors, it could destroy what's left of the public's trust in these stars. But here's the scary part. What happens if they go after him aggressively this time? Okay, so let's get into what really got people's heads spinning. The fact that we are beginning to see the connections between the Epstein controversy and the Diddy case. That's right, just as the Epstein story started heating back up, Diddy was slapped with a wave of lawsuits in 2024 and 2025. We're talking about accusations that are seriously dark. Not just wild parties or celebrity hookups, this stuff is next level. People are calling it Epstein 2.0. Lawsuits mention secret, quote, private parties, special VIP guest lists, hidden cameras, and even blackmail games. You know, the kind of stuff people whisper about but never say out loud. And here's where it gets spicy. And now we circle back to Mel Gibson. This isn't just some actor with wild opinions. According to reports, Mel didn't just hear about what went down. He says he's actually seen things.
You have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken that you are going to be f***ed over at some point.
Real evidence. Stuff that made him furious. Stuff that made him realize how deep the rabbit hole really goes. Some say he got access to private footage. Others say he was shown documents that connect the dots between Diddy's world and Epstein's. So why isn't anyone else talking? Why isn't the media connecting these dots? Why are we only hearing about it in whispers and leaks?
If you have been paying attention, you must have noticed that it seems like Hollywood has canceled Mel Gibson. No new movies, no interviews, no public appearances, not even an awkward late-night show cameo. It's like Gibson vanished from the entertainment radar, without any formal announcement or scandal to explain it. This is a man who directed The Passion of the Christ, starred in Braveheart, and once ruled the box office. And now, nothing. That kind of sudden disappearance doesn't just happen in Hollywood by accident. Not when you're someone with Gibson's track record. Especially not when he's been, allegedly, trying to speak out about the darker, filthier corners of Hollywood. Insiders say Gibson is being blacklisted on purpose. Not because of his past, but because of what he knows now. Studios, producers, and PR firms are reportedly refusing to work with him, cutting him off from press access and blackballing his name from any future award nominations. But he has been fighting back and winning. But the story doesn't stop there. It gets darker.
Behind the scenes, there are chilling rumors. Some claim Gibson has received multiple threats, and not from random trolls online. We're talking private messages, untraceable calls, even anonymous packages. One disturbing report even alleged his home is being watched. Cameras, drones, and suspicious vehicles were parked across the street. It's giving off major "you're being watched" energy. Not paranoid, just careful. And in response, he's had to hire private security. That's right. A man who once walked red carpets in tuxedos now walks around with trained bodyguards, just for speaking out. One Hollywood insider even leaked that Gibson was warned directly by someone high up to stop talking or else he won't live to regret it. Let that sink in. That's not a vague threat. That's a line straight out of a movie, except this time it is real and it's happening off screen. Some people in the industry are whispering behind closed doors that Mel has become a liability, not because he's done anything illegal, but because he might be exposing people who have. The more he talks about certain names connected to Epstein or Diddy's alleged inner circle, the more nervous the elite get. And what does Hollywood do when it feels threatened? It erases you. Quietly, ruthlessly. It's what they do best. So ask yourself, why all the silence around a man who used to dominate the big screen? And if he's lying, why go to all this effort to shut him down? What does Mel Gibson know that's worth destroying his career over? The real story might be what's not being said, and it's getting harder and harder to ignore.